So the last 3 weeks we've been going through the Psalms with Pastor Linda, and we looked into what these songs, liturgies, and/or poems were saying to the Israelites. And how do we engage these Psalms today, and what truth do they speak to our present-day lives? We began, little recap, just a little one. We began the Psalm series with Psalm 27, a psalm that really hit it all. The psalmist is taking in the presence and security of God and then turning around and practically raising a fist to the heavens and declaring, "Where are you, God?" We can't relate to that at all, can we? The following week, we looked at Psalm 84 as the psalmist basked in the beauty of the longing and desire of being in the presence of Yahweh. Yet, during the reading of this psalm and reflecting on it, we acknowledge that we can't always just lounge in that beauty and glory of God, but that there is a tension that exists when it comes to following God. And sometimes change must happen, and change doesn't always feel good, and it stretches us and makes us feel uncomfortable. But change can be life-giving and even better than before. And last week, Psalm 137. There we encountered the reality that the Psalms are not just pretty little poems about the joys of being in communion with God, but also that the Psalms present the Israelites, and in turn us, in a way that is not always pretty or pleasant, but is real. Real human thoughts, feelings, and emotions. If you missed any of those three, I'd encourage you to go back and check them out. I found them actually a little bit more powerful the second time around, or at least go back and read those Psalms again with new eyes and an open heart. So I acknowledge today that Psalm 121 is probably a familiar psalm. And I have to tell you, it's interesting because on a Sunday like today, oftentimes after the service, people will say to me, "So, did Pastor Linda choose Psalm 121 or did you?" I did. However, I will confess that it might have been easier if she had said, "Hey, when you preach on the last Sunday of the Psalm series, could you preach on Psalm XYZ?" No. Instead, I had 150 Psalms minus 3 to choose from. So, with prayerful consideration, trying really hard not to pick one of my top 5 Psalms, and following the movement of the Spirit, I invite you to take a walk with me through Psalm 121. It's a psalm for all of us today. It was long ago a psalm for the Israelites as they journeyed out. And it is a psalm that generations will come to say, sing, and pray. As I said, Psalm 121 is very familiar to many. It is often read at funerals as it is a psalm brought forth from one seeking comfort and help. In my family, we call it the Probst Psalm. My mom's maiden name is Probst, and it was read at Grandpa Probst, Grandma Probst, Uncle Lynn Probst, Uncle Roy Probst, and probably my mom's funeral one day too. So it's a psalm that we're all quite familiar with. Oh, come on, if it's not read at her funeral, she'll probably come back up and be like, "You forgot 121, let's go." So the psalmist starts out. He says, "I lift my eyes to the hills, from where will my help come? My help comes from the Lord, who maketh heaven and earth." It's a psalm about God's constant presence in our lives. Yahweh will guard your going and your coming, now and forevermore. Psalm 121 has been considered by theologians as a song, a liturgy, or a poem for many as they were heading out to battle, preparing to go out on a journey, or a song or poem for a community of folks as they are heading out on a pilgrimage to Jerusalem for a feast or holy day. This is a psalm for a journey. Lest this sound trite, and I do not mean it that way, it is a psalm for life's journeys. This is a psalm that lives in our lives, for the journeys that we embark on individually and those journeys that we set out on as a community. Those journeys that we, First Baptist Morristown, set out on together. A journey, a calling, a journey, a move from one place to another. God is calling us to embark on a new adventure, task, or challenge. God is calling us to journey into another day with all it may hold. I lift my eyes on my journey, and from whence does my help come? My help cometh from the Lord who maketh heaven and earth. So what's in the psalm? What's in the journey? It's a psalm for a journey that affirms the gifts that are already in you. The God-given gifts and talents just waiting to bloom. A journey out of addiction and into sobriety. A journey into a relationship, or if needed, a journey out of a relationship. A journey into taking a risk, using your voice, and speaking up for love, justice, equity, and fairness. It is a psalm for a journey out of the closet. And I'm not just talking about our gay closet, but out of the closet that is holding you back from living life as the best version of yourself that God desires for you, and into a life of living honestly and wholly. WHOLLY. So this journey that we embark on may not be a stroll down an easy street at times. Change comes for us as individuals and in the communities that we are a part of. We journey through these seasons of our lives. And as a wise pastor once said a couple weeks ago, we are not supposed to stay in the same season, season after season after season. Our journey takes us to new places, people, and possibilities. And in this journey that we are on as individuals, the journey that we are also on with others, family, friends, and as a community of faith, it is a journey of change and growth and of encouragement and support, a journey where we may look to find strength, hope, and newness in God. The same God that the psalmist cried out to, saying, I lift my eyes to you. I lift my eyes to the hills. And where is my help coming from? Knowing in the depths of his soul, I think, he knew his help, big or small, alone in the wilderness or in his home with his family or with his friends, or with those who may seek to bring him down. His help, our help, comes from God. So today, I'd like to encourage you to embrace the journey. Embrace life's journey. Intentionally, thoughtfully. Go on a journey, a personal journey, a journey with your family or your chosen family, a journey with your community of faith or another community that you may be a part of. And now's a good time to do it. As Tom was telling us during the announcements, this Wednesday we begin Lent. And the Lenten season consists of 40 days. Lent is often a time referred to as a journey, the Lenten journey. But what is the journey that one undertakes during Lent? This journey encompasses a time of reflection and renewal, a time to consider where we are, what we are doing, and why. A time to ask questions and seek the answers. It is a time when we may cry out for help or sing with joy. Lent is a time to consider the life of Jesus, his actions, words, and work that sought to bring all closer to the big love of God for all people and all creation. So my hope right now is that you're sitting there thinking, okay, this sounds good, but how do I do this? How do I hop on this journey, this Lenten journey? First, you can do it yourself. Spend time reflecting on your life and the world around you, how God has been moving in and around your life. Get pen and paper or a tablet and write it down. What challenges arise on life's journey for you? What unexpected joys are overflowing for you? Where do you see that change in your life? Where would you like to see some change in your life? Where do you find help in your life? Or better yet, how does God reveal God's self in your life through others to bring help when you need it? Spend time each day during Lent reflecting on your life's journey and how you are moving toward a renewal and fullness of life. Write your psalm or your prayer. Second suggestion, join up with others. There are several small groups, as Tom mentioned, that you can be a part of right here. They're beginning this week and next week. And these groups are all very different. Bev Allegretti, Richard Henchman, Jill Lee, Pastor Linda and I, we're all leading very different groups at very different times. Just ask us. All are welcome. Find a group. Get to know some folks better, or maybe for the first time. If you're not sure where to go, please just ask. Go on this leg of your life's journey with others, who will encourage, others who will support and challenge you, others who also, during this same time, are lifting their eyes to the hills and saying, "From where will my help come?" And others who will remind you that your help comes from God as they bring God's love, light, and presence into your life. So I'd like to close by sharing a poem with you. It's entitled Psalm 121, 2023, Help, I Need Somebody, with a nod to John and Paul of the Beatles, not the Bible. We raise our eyes to the sky and sigh. Where will we find help? For we need help. We cry out for help at the top of our lungs. We long for help in the silent screams of our souls, or we quietly whisper, "I need some help." We need help here, now, and probably tomorrow too. Help with this, and yes, even with that. Our help comes from God. God in the many and varied and expected and unexpected ways that God reveals God's self to us, those ways that are within and all around us. God will help. The God who is with you, the God who is in you before you knew God was in you, that God will keep you, be with you, enlighten and strengthen you, and help you. Help us. Help me. Oh, and not just today will I know God's help, and not just when I think I need it, but tomorrow when I think I've got it all figured out, God's help will still be there. And I especially know that God's help will be there on the third day of the third month in the year of the rabbit. God will be help. So yeah, go ahead. Let us lift our eyes to the hills, for there is a God, your help, my help, our help. Amen.